we're about ready to play baseball. Why don't we start?
All right, Mike Russell, we appreciate getting us started here, and we don't have a lineup like I said, but maybe we pick up some numbers and maybe we can see what's going. And I believe that's number 20, and buddy, that's the one we had the trouble with first game, Scott Shivers. I
think they're going to stay with basically the same lineup. Randy, the on-deck batter, is Atchison, and so I think they're going to play their best against our best, and we're facing it. Eric Cox is back on the mound, so Coach Johnny Grimes seeing if he can continue on after finishing that game. For his first pitch in the start of the second game is a ball low in the dirt. Excuse me, that's the second ball in the dirt.
All right, I'm going to be making a line up there, Buddy Pyron, while you getting this game started, and I'm going to try to write it up.
All right, they play him straight away as the lights are on here in Pleasant Grove, and the first call is strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. As the sun disappears on us here, the lights are on. It's a well-lighted field. Another pitch in the dirt. It's 3 balls, 1 strike.
Buddy, I want to say a word to thank you to Charles Fulmer. Charles Fulmer, he's graciously on his truck up here, and we're getting use of his truck with the camera, and on the counter we're getting awful good tape.
And the call strike to make it full on the first batter starting the second game here in the state championship. Bobcats won the first one, so we're up 1. And now Cox delivers. It's in the dirt, and he walks the first batter. Scott Shivers on first, and the next batter will be Brian Atchison, who is the second baseman, and he'll be followed on deck by Shane Carnes, who's the right fielder, or at least in the last game. A good lead and throw back by Eric Cox as Scott Shivers comes shivering back. Another good lead, 4 steps, now 5. Cox looks back over to first again and delivers home, strike 1.
Buddy Pyron, I've got the lineup, I think, almost drawn up here for Pleasant Grove Spartans. And like you said, sports fans, we have had us a ball here at Pleasant Grove tonight. Bobcats winning the first ball game 7-6.
Swung on. It's a fly ball to right side, out of bounds.
Out of bounds, or how about foul ball?
How about foul ball?
As we said earlier tonight, we talk about football, basketball.
Out of bounds, Randy. It's across the fence. It's out of bounds.
You got out of bounds?
Either way, it's out of
Foul. How about foul territory?
It's a slicing foul.
All right. That like you do at golf ball? You used to slice one pretty bad.
A hook one pretty bad also. But that's a strike. 2 strikes on the batter, and it's a high ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, buddy, I'm so much more relaxed than I was 45 minutes ago. It's unreal. I was shaking, my legs was knocking and everything else, but I'm just relaxed now.
Runner off first. Delivered to the home plate. And it is low. 2-2's the count. You know, after the emotion field type game we just had, both teams seem somewhat kind of flattened at this point in time, and why not? Here goes the runner, and the bobble by the catcher cannot make the throw. It picked a good pitch to send him down on, and the fact that it was somewhat in the dirt, and because of that, Judd could not come up with the ball to make the throw to second. So Shivers gets on second with a full count on the batter as Chanel comes out and talks to the pitcher, Eric Cox, and now walks back to home plate.
All right, sports fans, we'll be playing this ball game back. The first one tonight will be played Monday night at 7 o'clock. And this game here will be played Tuesday night. So we'll let you know later on what time Tuesday night it will be played back. Bobcats win the first game of the state playoff at Pleasant Grove, 7-6 in 9 innings. What an exciting. Neither team wanted to say die.
Had to be the best ball game in the state of Alabama today as the first round of the state playoffs in all divisions were being played.
And, buddy, I imagine it's better than any SEC game that's played today anywhere around, too. You know, they got their big tournament going on. I imagine it was better than any of those.
Eric Cox delivers. Its ball is swung on. Hit wide, high fly ball to the right side. D. Jones gives chase. Cannot make it in foul territory. So it's a long strike.
Ball right up.
He gave a good chase on the right side near the fence.
We was looking over here by the fence, Buddy Pryor, and it was D was coming at it real hard, and he having to watch out for the fence, and the ball hit right up against the fence, so he just could not get to it.
The fence narrows to the foul line in right field, somewhat closer than where we are, right behind first base, and he could not come up with it. So new life for Atchison as he stands in with a full count against Eric Cox. Shivers at second, takes his lead, swung on, it's hit down the third baseline, fair ball. It's going to the left field. It's going to be picked up, and the run's going to be scoring as the ball is thrown to the catcher. But from second base, Shivers scores as Atchison goes to second on the throw to home. So here in the first inning, an early lead by Pleasant Grove on the hit by Atchison. Brian Atchison gets a single and stretches it in into a double on the throw to home. The next batter, Shane Carnes.
All right, the Bobcats here in this inning now. Top of the first inning, trailing 1-0. Eric Cox on the mound for the Bobcats, and we're going to have to do a lot of alternating around tonight. Buddy Pryor's voice is about to fade away on him. We're getting a little tired here, but we're not used to 2 ball games. But I tell you one thing, if the players can take 2 games, Mr. Pryor, we can too, can't we?
Oh, we're in shape.
All right, I hear you. We're going to get excited in a minute now. We're kind of dragging a little bit here early, but we'll get ready to go here in a little bit.
I went out and ran a mile yesterday just for this game.
I thought, what about your drill tomorrow now?
It's going to be on a hold.
On a hold right now, okay.
Come on, Ed, you got it.
But
All right, the batter standing in, Shane Carnes, with a 1-1 count. Eric Cox delivers. Swinging strike.
he threw that one back.
And he was going downtown on a fastball.
He had a cut of that one, and Eric Cox reared back and brought it in there. Eric Cox did a good job in the end of that last game of really coming in and getting the, I guess, did he get the win or the save? I got the win, didn't he?
He got the win. We scored in the 7th. The 9th.
He got the win for us.
All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. As that ball was high, Eric Cox with a runner on second, who is Atchison, who, with his base hit, scored the runner. Shot Shivers. And now the throw is foul back behind the fence.
And I tell you, we're here at Pleasant Grove. If you have not heard, you just flipping through here on the TV. We're here at Pleasant Grove. The Bobcats winning the first ball game in 9 innings. They're a 7-inning game, but they went 9 innings. The Bobcats win 7-6. First game of the state playoff.
2-2 the count. The delivery. It's swung on. A hard hit ball out in the right field to D. Jones. Jones scupped with it up to the second baseman, Brent Hall, but the runner will score from second. So a hard hit single by Carnes into right field delivers the RBI as Atchison scores from second. So back-to-back hits, and Coach Johnny Grimes calls time. We got to talk about it, and he's going to bring in another pitcher.
All right, here we are in Pleasant Grove, Alabama, in the first inning here. Now Pleasant Grove gets tough on us, and they have 1 walk, a double, and then a single to drive in 2 runs. And so now we'll have a pitching change, and it looks like Neil Presley will come to the mound, and I believe it'll send Eric Cox back to, let's see if he'll go to center field or left field. I believe Cox will go to center field, and Presley will come to the mound, so that'll be the only change we got.
And Randy, while the Neil Presley is warming up, let's take a break for 1 commercial here. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back in Pleasant Grove. And Neil Presley on the mound with his warm-up. Tosses. Trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Excuse me, we switched it up. This is the top of the first. We were the visitor, now we are the home team, so we'll be in the bottom as they switch it up every other game. And Eric Cox tried to start after finishing the other, and after 2 back-to-back hits, then Coach Johnny Grimes decided to make the change and sends Cox into center field. As we look across the way, as we might pan out that way, we'll see the kind of crowd we're talking about that has amassed here into the outfield. And this goes all the way around. They're out on the hillside as well as against the fence, somewhat like we do in Opp, Alabama. But also there's a mighty good crowd along the first and third baseline.
And Buddy
There's
Pine?
fans also out in right center field. If you pan on out that way, now you're looking at, if by TV, center field, and now the scoreboard. And Randy, this is somewhat got ourselves in a hole here early in the first inning.
We sure have. When you talk about the fans coming in, Buddy Pine, we had two that just drove up then. Kind of getting a little worried about my wife. And you know where she went? She went to Talladega, Alabama. We give her the map to follow. And
we're playing in Talladega nowadays?
Oh, well, that's where she went. Her and Tiffany wound up in Talladega. She said 50 miles from here, and they had to turn around and come back. She followed the map, she said, and said there's no way. But I ought to know not let them two off on a car together. So they've been touring the South. I knew, though, if they got off together, they'd never get here. And but they finally rolled in after about 7 hours. Pulled in here.
Well, I tell you what, Randy, one thing for sure, and we'll go ahead and talk about this. We're guaranteed to be playing here tonight or tomorrow 1.
Yeah.
If we win this one, we won't be playing tomorrow, but if we should lose this one, we'll be playing at 1 o'clock. And I'm going to tell you that would be for all the marbles and the one that possibly a lot more fans might be here from Opp, Alabama.
I tell you one thing, if you can come in tomorrow, it will be live again tomorrow on TV. And, well, you know, just the audio, it'll be right here back where we are now. So if you can get in here tomorrow, if we was to lose this one, but we still feel like we're going to get this one right here and close it out. But like we said, this game will be played back Monday night, the second game Tuesday night, and then if another one, we'll find out later. But we're ready to go now. Neil Presley on the mound.
Elrod, the batter, steps in with a man on first. First pitch to him is fouled back behind the fence.
And
Right
Neil Presley brought some heat on the first pitch that he brought in there. And it looks like Mike Russell has some food back here. By the way, I have not eaten. Here it is, 8 o'clock. Nobody's offered me any food. All I've had to do is just talk, run my mouth, and no food anywhere for anybody brought me any. And I'm getting a little hungry. When you weigh what I do, you need some food. And I hope somebody will feel sorry for me and bring me some.
Neil and Judd talking to each other, make sure of the signals. Carnes is on first base after he delivered a big hit to right field. Elrod, the left-handed batter, takes a big swing for strike number 2.
Neil Presley fired that one in there past him now. He hummed that baseball there. He brought it hard.
Neil has the ability to really bring the speed, and I think we may have some warming up on the sideline for other. That is a high fly ball going to right field. D. Jones circles under and controls it for out number 1. Quickly, the ball gets into the infield to Brent Hall and now over to Cam Pierce. So for the first out, fly ball to right field by Andy Elrod. And the next batter will be last game's pitcher, Richie Robertson.
And, Buddy, he pitched a good ball game till right at the end. He got tired. You could tell he was getting tired, but he is a top-notch pitcher, and he did a good job.
He definitely is college material. Stands in a right-hander and takes the first pitch as a high ball.
And Neil Presley is bringing the baseball. Only problem Neil's had this year so far was a little bit of control problems, but whenever he's on, he is definitely bringing the ball hard.
Carnes leads off first. And the next pitch, strike, fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. The outfield plays deep on Robinson. Infield plays straight away as Ashley Davis holding on Carnes at first base. A wide open stance by Robinson, and the pitch to him is a strike.
And Neil Presley brings a fastball in there for a strike. And we're at Pleasant Grove, second ball game. The first one started at 4, and here it is 8 o'clock. We're just starting the second ball game in the first inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that was a tremendous pitch. It looked like it was down the pike, but the umpire said it was inside.
Neil definitely wanted that one, Buddy Fire.
He's coming with the fireballer. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Carnes takes first, his lead off first. And squaring now, turning around and faking a bunt was Richie Robinson.
And the runner was going on that one.
Back. The runner was going, as you mentioned. So now we're at 2-2 with 1 out. Need a double play ball here. High. And that makes it full. Had 2 strikes on the batter. Now we worked it to full.
All right, the runner may be going this time. Pitch before last, he was attempting to go, and he may be going this time. Full count, 3-2. We're here in the first inning. Top half of the first inning as Opp was the home team here in the second game.
The runner goes, and the throw down to second. He is out of there for a double play. And the fact that the batter struck out, Richie Robinson, a swinging strikeout. Judge Chanel came up with it, made a strike down to second for the 3rd out, but not before. Pleasant Grove got 2 runs in the top of the first to lead it 2-0 as the Bobcats come to bat. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Pleasant Grove, and defensively we have some changes for Pleasant Grove. On the mound will be Andy Elrod, who played center field previously. Now he's on the mound, a left-hander, and I believe he's the one that's going to UAB on a baseball scholarship. Okay, at first base again will be Landrum. At second base is Brian Atchison. At shortstop will be number 12, Brandon Whiten. And at third base, number 22, Richie Robertson, who was the previous pitcher. He moves to third base. In right field is Carnes. Center field, Shivers, who moved from left field to center. And I can't see in left field at this point in time as Cam Pierce steps in for the first batter for the Bobcats. And the first pitch, as the left-hander delivers, it is a ball. And he threw some heat on that one. He came with a fastball, his first pitch. A big left-hander delivers another ball, high and outside.
First game, Buddy Pyron. Cam Pierce was hit by a pitch twice. He got 2 base hits and got on an error, so he was 2 out of 3.
Had a good ball game. And the next pitch, high, ball 3. And Andy Elrod having little control problems as far as his fastball here in the first inning. And the next pitch is in the dirt, so Cam Pierce walks down to first base for the Bobcat to lead off the first inning. And stepping in there next will be Brent Hall, the second baseman, who came up with a timely hit in the 9th inning, I believe it was.
Brent Hall, first game, Buddy Pyron. He was 2 out of 4. He had a fielder's choice. He struck out. He had a single, sacrifice, and another single. So he's 2 out of 4 in the first game.
Brent steps in as Cam Pierce makes his lead. Elrod looks and delivers another ball. 5 straight balls by Andy Elrod. Now, he has not thrown a curveball at this time. Every pitch has been a fastball. Cam, as he looks directly into the left-hander's eyes, cannot get the lead he was getting earlier on Robinson. 3 steps, 4 steps, and that's all. The delivery to home, again, a ball. 6 straight balls. So he's having a little control problems here in the early inning. Again, Cam takes a brief lead off and delivers his first strike.
All right, that's first strike thrown in there by the pitcher, and we're here in the bottom half of the first inning. And like we said earlier, the Bobcats will be the home team in this game. Always on the road. The home team, which is Pleasant Grove, has the first game, but then when you play doubleheaders, the other team has a second game as a home team. So Bobcats will be batting in the bottom half each inning.
One thing of note, he's thrown 7 fastballs. And Brent tried to bunt that one and was unable to do so. He fouled it off. So it brings up a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Brent Hall.
Opp Bobcats, you just teetering in. The Opp Bobcats won the first ball game in a thriller today in 9 innings, 7-6. And this is the second ball game to find out if we'll play again tomorrow. We'd like to go ahead and close this thing out tonight where we can go and rest tonight, not have to worry about anything tomorrow.
By the way, if you listen by way of live coverage here, we will be staying at the Econo Lodge right off of I-20 if we need to stay tonight. And that'll be determined. And another ball. That was his first curveball he's thrown to bring it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And the pitcher and the third baseman that time are not liking the call by the umpire. And, you know, first game, a lot of people did not like the call. But I think number 22, the pitcher of first game, Robinson, I think he wanted some more calls first game.
And the delivery. It is high, and he walks another one. Brent Hall comes down to first as Cam Pierce goes to second, and it brings up Chris Gohagen as the third batter in this inning. There's timeout as their coach, after 2 batters, wants to take a timeout.
All right, in first ball game, Chris Gohagen, he ground out to shortstop, ground out to second baseman, and had 2 strikeouts. So first game, Chris Gohagen 0 for 4. And we have timeout on the field, and we'll tell you if you're just tuning in, you're just coming in from work. It is the Bobcats winning the first game here at Pleasant Grove, 7-6 and 9 innings. And you're playing the best 2 out of 3. Bobcats win the first one, so if Bobcats win this one, it'll be a state championship at Alabama. If Pleasant Grove wins this next game, we'll be playing again tomorrow at 1 o'clock here at the same field. And if you're in Alabama, plan to come on and listen to us tonight, and then plan to get here tomorrow if we was to go into another game.
Elrod, the left-handed pitcher and senior, who is signed with UAB here in Birmingham, looks at his catcher, now to first, now to second, and delivers. It's a bunt, and it's going to be fair as Elrod picks it up, throws it down as they move the runners up. Good call by Coach Johnny Grimes, and a good sacrifice by Chris Gohagen to move the runners to second and third with 1 out.
All right, we got
Neil Presley, the batter.
We got runners now on second and third, and it brings the bat Neil Presley. And the first game they put Neil on every time except the last time, buddy, and he laced it, and they did it again. Neil Presley does not like that. He throws the bat over, but I do not blame the coach from Pleasant Grove.
Well, when he did not do that, he laced a ball out to right center all the way to the fence that drove in 2 runs.
It sure did. So that backfired on him by letting him stay in there last time. And Coach McBride is calling, trying to get time out for some reason. Let's see what he's trying to get. Oh, he's trying to get a runner.
Pitcher, so he wants a pinch runner, and they will have a courtesy runner, I think, which is because he is the pitcher.
All right, Neil.
While they're doing that, Randy, let's set the dimension. Someone might have just tuned in. This is a large field as far as high school standards. Down the left and right field line is 310. Down the line is 370 in the power alley and 390 down deep center. That's somewhat, just a little bit less than Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta.
That's right, buddy. And I tell you see the people. Look at the people. As I hadn't even noticed it around the outfield. We've got a big crowd coming in since the first game.
Judge Chanel steps in, takes the first pitch, ball 1. With runners on second and third and first, Rashad Tillis comes in to run for Neil Presley. He goes off first. Hall off second. Delivery to Judge Chanel for ball number 2. I'll tell you, as we see it here, Elrod is having some control problems, definitely, in the early inning here.
He's definitely got some control problem. It looks like it's getting to him, too. It's bothering him a little bit. He's real wild and high, too, buddy.
And he delivers inside, ball 3.
3 balls, no strikes, bases loaded, and you could say nowhere to put him, but we got somewhere we can put him. We can put him on first and bring that guy from home in.
I know that Coach Grimes is holding him here. He'll have to throw a strike. He's going to challenge him to do that. He hasn't done it against this one. Now the first pitch, and it's down the pike, strike 1.
Tell you one thing, buddy Byron, he's got some speed. I can tell you, this guy has got some speed. He can rear back and bring it, and I guarantee you he's got some good speed.
It'll be a good time for Judd to lace one here. The pitch swung on, strike 2. Full count. That was heat also. It was low. Judd Chanel came up missing it. Full count on Judd with the bases loaded. What we don't want is double play ball. And the ball is outside. He held up. He walks him, and that brings in Cam Pierce across the plate for the Bobcat run. So it's 2-1 now, still with 1 out. The next batter will be Eric Cox. There's a change for Judge Chanel in running. Jared Jones comes in to run on first for Judge Chanel, the catcher, courtesy runner.
All right.
Cox, the next batter.
We're here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, state championship finals. Bobcat wins the first game 7-6. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. Bases loaded. Bobcats have scored 1 run.
Swung on, strike 1.
Bases loaded. Eric Cox at the bat. Bobcats have already scored 1 run this inning, and Pleasant Grove scored 2 in the top half.
The next pitch is ball high. That was an off-speed pitch. It did not work at all. Was not close. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded. And we have Hall on third, Tillis on second, Jones on first. Swung on, strike 2.
That was a good fastball that time. First game, Eric Cox went 1 for 3, had a walk, and he scored 1 run.
1 ball, 2 strikes is the count as Elrod takes a look and delivers. Swung on, foul ball.
Threw a little changeup on Eric that time, and it was a good pitch, and Eric was way out in front of it, but was able to get a little bit of the bat on it and knock it down into the ground to make a foul ball.
Eric is a fastball hitter more than a curveball hitter, as most people are in high school, but certainly he looks for that fastball. And got a piece of it that time, but fouled it back.
I'll tell you one thing, he brought that one. He reared back and tell you what, sports fans, if you are a baseball fan, you are missing one kind of series of baseball. This has been some kind of exciting game up here at Pleasant Grove today.
The next pitch, and it's outside. So
Outside.
now 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove here in the first inning.
They play him straight away in the outfield. As Elrod, the left-handed pitcher, he delivers. Swung on, strike 3 for the second out. So that's his first strikeout after having control problems. He looked a little better against Eric Cox than previously. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Bobcats trailing 2-1 and have bases loaded as the next batter coming up for the Bobcats will be
Josh Kaiser.
Josh Kaiser, third baseman. Swung on, strike, and he had heat on that one.
And Josh Kaiser took him a good at it too. Josh Kaiser 1 out of 4 in the first ball game.
The wind has ceased here as we were gusting earlier in the day. Almost no wind at all. Strike 2, the call, looking at the strike off the right corner.
And I tell you what, buddy, it looks like Elrod has found his groove now. He's bringing it.
And the next pitch, swung on, strike 3. I think you're right, Randy. He looked better on those last 2 pitchers. He found his strike zone, and with that, shut down the Bobcat attack after scoring 1 run. So it's the Pleasant Grove Spartans 2, the Bobcats 1. We'll be back in a minute.
Okay, we're back live here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, just northwest of Birmingham, Alabama. And we surrounded by Bobcats here in the second game of the state finals. Ott wins the first game. Ott won the first game. We're here in the second game and looking for a big win here. 2-1 in the top of the second inning, buddy.
Well, remember the last game, the Spartans got ahead of us, and we kept battling back, and they'd get ahead of us, and we'd battle back. Then we got ahead of them, they'd battle back, and then we got ahead of them, they'd battle back, and we got ahead of them, and they finally gave up. We won it in the night. Tremendous ball game, one of the best baseball games I've ever seen, especially a high school baseball game. And it was similar to the one we had in Clanton, Alabama against Stanhope Elmore about 2 years ago. Somewhat the same indication, but we came through this time where we did not then. And we congratulate the Bobcats on hanging in there and giving it the second, third, and fourth effort and not giving up. And that's something that Coach Grimes talked to his players about after the game. You didn't give up. You didn't give up, and you hung in there and you pulled it out. Now we're ready to start the top of the second. The first pitch swung on. Foul ball to the right side. Standing in there is the shortstop, Brandon Whiten.
Buddy, I was over talking to one of the fans a few minutes ago, and they were just complimenting Johnny Grimes and what a good job of baseball he was doing and what a fine fine guy he was. Just nothing but comments for the Bobcats.
Next pitch, low in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to the first batter here in the top of the second. Again, low. So Neil Presley falling behind 2-1 as they play straight away in the outfield and deep against Whiten. And the ball swung on. It's hit sharply up the middle. A grounder to Eric Cox at center field, picked up and thrown back into the infield as Whiten comes up with a base hit. I tell you what, it may be me, but the lights are good here, but it's hard for me to pick up the baseball once it's hit.
What am I supposed to say about that? Is it supposed to be age, your eyes, or what? I have no trouble with it.
Well, I was thinking about visibility as far as the entire players on the team defensively, but it may be just age among. And another swung on strike back to Brent Hall, and Hall quickly over to second, but he gets by first in time. Hall bobbled the ball. It was thrown over to Cam, and Cam back to first.
All right, that time, buddy.
The lead out. Actually, it was a line shot right to Brent Hall, and he thought he caught it, dropped it, and then had mind about himself to throw it to second base. He had stopped the runner when he thought he caught it. But we got our 1 out anyway with a man on first. The next man stepping in is David Landrum. And Landrum takes the first pitch for a ball. It looked as though he swung, but the umpire did not call as such, as you can see that as you replay it. Again, Landrum, a left-hander, as they pretty much play him straight away, but the guard right line, foul line. Axel Davis holds the runner on. The ball gets through Judge Chanel, and quickly running down to second is Dustin Black. And Black's now on second with 1 out and 2 balls, no strikes on the batter.
All right, we're here at Pleasant Grove now in the top half of the second inning. Pleasant Grove has a runner on second base. Neil Presley on the mound.
And the next pitch is a strike. Neil throwing a little heat that time, right down the middle for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Hey, we got a lot of people up here going around talking between the innings. I tell you what, everybody's tired, but they're excited too. Next pitch is a low for a ball. Buddy Pyron, it looks like here as you walk around the stands, people are tired, but they say we got to go, don't they? They say we got to get up and go.
You think they're tired, we're tired, but what about these players out here?
They got to be tired too.
They have to be tired.
But they're young.
Endurance has to do. That's correct. But it could be showing in pitching. Both these players, Elrod and Neil Presley, both playing the 9 innings previously and was instrumental as they walked that batter. David Landrum, the next batter up, is Russell. And the first pitch to him is a strike. So now we have runners on second and first as Black takes his lead, Landrum takes his lead, and now the delivery, swinging strike to Russell. Russell did not bat last game, but he was the pinch runner for the pitcher. So Neil Presley takes his sign, looks, throws, and delivers, and that looked like a mighty good pitch. Brent Hall goes 8th at second base. He thought sure it was a strikeout. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
You got it, Neil. You got it.
1 out here in the second inning at the state final baseball playoff.
You know, something that's interesting, and I just say interesting, Neil Presley played center field the first game. Andy Elrod played center the first game. Neil Presley's number's 18, and Andy Elrod is also 18. Number 18. The next pitch is wide, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Put it back down there. Here you go.
With runners on second And first, the delivery, swinging high, strike 3. That was a big out.
Big strikeout there, right down through there. Fastball, strike 3 on Russell, and that makes 2 out.
He showed it to him in his eyeballs that time, and he couldn't lay off with full count. That definitely was a ball, but it was right in his eyelids, and so he had to swing at it. So now we have 2 outs with 2 men on. And the next pitch is low.
To Scott Shivers. And you know what? There's a lot of difference. It was 4 o'clock this afternoon. We got jackets on now, and it's, you know, it's a little cool.
I'm glad the wind's not blowing. It has ceased. Shivers.
Are you shivering?
Takes a ball high. Negative on the Shivers. I was earlier.
All right.
I was. It might not have been because of the weather. It might have been because of the situation.
We're here in the second inning at Pleasant Grove, Alabama.
And strike 1 is the call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Neil Presley coming in, relieving Eric Cox in the first, now in the second, trailing 2-1 as the Bobcats got 1 run the first inning. Next pitch swung on. It's a fly ball hit into center field, and Eric Cox goes under, catches it for the 3rd out. So a good hard hit ball was caught by Eric Cox to end the inning. So the Bobcats will come to bat in the bottom of the second. We'll be back in a moment. The Bobcats trailing 2-1.
All right, we're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. State Championship Baseball. And we keep telling you we're back because we're here excited. You've never seen so much excitement in your life as the first ball game of the Bobcats win 7-6 in 9 innings and looking for a sweep here tonight where we will not have to come back tomorrow. And it is Bobcats trailing 2-1. And we have... And then we have...
Kendall Taylor was warming up there on the sideline, Randy. And he and Justin Kaiser, so he now goes back into the dugout after the Bobcats have completed that inning. The first batter up for the Bobcats will be Ashley Davis. And I can't say enough about Ashley Davis in the first game. He did a terrific job pitching. I don't know his overall stats, but he did a good job. His first time up. Elrod delivers, and he throws heat. He blistered that one as Ashley Davis goes swinging deep and missed it. Next pitch swung on, strike 2. Andy Elrod had control problems in the first. Now, being somewhat more consistent, strikes out Ashley Davis. Ashley comes trotting back, and D. Jones will be the next batter. So he struck out the last 2, and now the first one in this inning. So 3 straight strikeouts for Andy Elrod, left-hander for the Spartans. D. Davis steps in. Excuse me, D. Jones. And first pitch to him is strike 1.
D. Jones bad for the Bobcats here in the bottom half of the second inning. The Bobcats trailing Pleasant Grove by 1 run, score of 2-1. D took him some cuts in that first ball game at it, but never did get a hold of it as he did then and fouled that one back.
Randy, this Elrod is showing somewhat of a different composure in this inning than he did in the first inning. And he obviously had control problems. He threw 7 straight balls before he threw a strike. And he might just not have been warmed up enough, as D. Jones wanted to take that one, but he let it go.
Tell you one thing, buddy, the fans and the players this time are after the umpire. I tell you, the umpire had to be on their ball because everybody's watching them close.
Next pitch swung on, strike 3. 4 straight strikeouts. So I can see how they've had a great season with these two pitchers they've had today.
I sure can. And like you said, that's 4 straight strikeouts. And Elrod has finally got his control. He's found the plate, and he's humming that baseball now.
First thing about when we were playing the first game, Robinson, we got 2 hits off of him in the first 2 innings and failed to do that so far. And call strike 1. Cam Pierce, who's had a great game, the first game, and came up scoring the first run for the Bobcats in this game. Swung on, hit to the left side, foul ball.
Cam Pierce first game was 2 for 3. As we said, he was hit by the pitch twice, had 2 hits, and then got on all 6 times, well, 5 times in the first game. He was on base 5 times and scored 2 runs in the first game.
And we're looking at 2 strikes. There's no balls, 2 strikes on Cam Pierce. Swinging, foul. Man, he threw some heat that time.
He sure did. Cam's sitting in there too, buddy. He's sitting there ready, and he's looking for that ball and doing a good job with the bat tonight.
I clocked him at 89 miles per hour.
You clocked him at 89? What'd you clock him with? That gun Mike had a while ago?
The time he released the ball to the time the catcher caught it, I multiplied it mathematically and came out with 89 miles per hour.
I didn't know you could do that.
Ball is high. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You never cease to amaze me, the things you can do.
Well,
never
cease
to amaze me.
Mathematical mind, Randy.
Oh, mathematical? I don't have one of those.
All right, Cam steps back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. On deck, Brent Hall. Swung on, strike 3. His first time out today. To end the inning, 3 straight strikeouts. Hang on. It could get dangerous here. Bobcats head for the field as the Spartans come in. And we're going to pause here going into the top of the 3rd. It's the Spartans 2, Bobcats 1. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay, we're back live here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and Randy Griffin has just tore the antenna down.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Mike. I couldn't help it. Yeah, we was in a hurry.
We're going to give Mr. Walter L. Pyron a break here. And, Randy, you could talk.
Well, let's see if I can then. We'll try it again. Like we said, it's the top half of the 3rd inning. It's the Bobcats against the Pleasant Grove Spartans. And coming to bat for Pleasant Grove will be Brian Atchison. Atchison, second baseman. So far tonight, he's had a double and scored 1 run. On the mound for the Bobcats, Neil Presley. Behind the plate, Judd Chennail. Bobcats trail here, 2-1, as we have a tremendous crowd. A nice complex here at Pleasant Grove, and they tell you what, they charge even to come in and park. But it's been an exciting afternoon so far. Neil Presley winds, and the first pitch is ball inside. Sweeping curveball. Yes, sir, Mr.
Well, I really
Russell.
want to know, Randy, is what you getting paid?
Mike, same thing as I always get paid. No attention. That's what gets me.
You know, you said the cameraman was making $10,000, but I figured you were worth about $10.
You think I'm worth $10?
Well, that's pretty good. I thought we'd come all the way up here and leaving at 4:30 this morning.
Well, that's more than I usually get, so I'm proud here I'm going to get that. That's tickled me to death.
Yeah, and you got to see the Tanner Hill State Park.
We sure did. We got to go through there and see Tanner Hill, and it was a beautiful, beautiful place, and we'd like to go back there someday. All right, Neil Presley winds. He's ready for the next pitch. It's inside, and that makes it 3 balls and no strikes.
That's the only way I know back to from here, being that's the way I come.
Tell you one thing, I don't know how to get back either, but I know one thing, my wife's not driving, I guarantee that, because she wound up in Talladega this afternoon. I won't be riding back with her. I'll be on that steering wheel. Ball 4, and Brian Atchison walks. He's on first base, and that'll bring up Shane Carnes, the right fielder.
Well, we got Neil Presley on the mound for the Bobcats. Neil Presley, 2-1, favor Pleasant Grove here in the 3rd inning.
Pleasant Grove got a runner on first base. Neil Presley on the mound. Judd Chennail behind the plate. Shane Carnes, right fielder. He's ready. Neil takes a stretch, and the pitch is right down in there. Fastball, strike 1. And the scoreboard put a ball up there, but I really believe the umpire called a strike. I may be wrong. Yeah, there it goes. He changed it now. to no balls, 1 strike. Neal's ready. He's on first base, and runner Atchison gets back just in time. Neal has a good move. Got a fastball over to first base. On first base, Ashley Davis for the Bobcats. Neal Presser takes a stretch. And the pitch. It's right down in there for strike 2. And looking around the outfield, we have Chris Gohagen in left. Center field, Eric Cox. Right field, D. Jones. As the batter backs out, Neal Presley's ready. He takes a stretch. And the pitch. In the dirt. And it bounces back to the screen. Atchison goes down to second base. And that makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. And on the infield, Bobcats. First base, Ashley Davis. Second base, Brent Hall. Shortstop, Cam Pierce. Third base, Josh Kaiser. Behind the plate, Judd Chanel, and on the mound, Neal Presley.
Randy, I don't believe I've ever seen so many people and so many TV cameras here at one ball game ever.
TV cameras everywhere on the top of all the dugouts, everywhere around, and people lined up around the fences all around. And you can see on TV tonight as you go around the field, just people everywhere. It is a big crowd. Presley fired. Foul ball over the Pleasant Grove dugout. And that remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I tell you what, we've had a good time, people in Opp, Alabama. Like I told you, if you miss this trip, you did not plan well, because it has been a fun, fun day.
One thing we don't want to do is have to play tomorrow, but if we do, you need to be making arrangements to get up here. You got plenty of time to get up in the morning, get on up here and see this game at 1 o'clock.
And don't take the wrong roads. Just find out, go somewhere and find out how to get here, and then stop again if you have to. It's about a 3.5 hour drive, unless you go by Talladega or places like that. Takes you a little longer. Presley fires. Ball hit a shortstop. Cam Pierce bobbles the ball. He's up with it. He fired to first and does not get him out at first base. So we have an error there on the shortstop, but the ball just would not come up for Cam Pierce. So now then, Pleasant Grove got runners on first and third with nobody out.
Randy, can you tell everybody how to get up here?
Mike Russell, I got no idea at all. I sit back there and just let you drive and did not comment on your driving.
Just tell you quick, for some of you wonder where Pleasant Grove is. You take 65 to Birmingham, hit 459 toward Bessemer, hit Interstate 20 West to exit 20 East, and exit on 115.
All right, Mike, that's what some more people said they did today, and they wound up in Talladega. So I don't know about that. But anyway, I'm going to let them worry about getting here if they need to come. Maybe they won't need to come. But anyway, batting for Pleasant Grove, the pitcher, Andy Elrod. And I tell you one thing, he can pitch as well as he can hit. It's a long fly ball to right field. D. Jones is going back towards the fence. He's up against the fence, and it's over for a home run. And that was Andy Elrod. As we said before, that he had power. He was a good pitcher, had a lot of power, and that showed right there that he definitely did, as he knocked that one over the right field fence for a home run, and that stretches the lead now for Pleasant Grove to 5-1.
Randy, that was his 19th home run of the year right there. He just hit 2-run homer, 19th for the year.
All right, he knocked in 3 runs there, and so all of a sudden, Pleasant Grove has jumped out of here from a 2-0 lead to a 5-0 lead.
One, Randy. We got
5-1. Make that 5-1, because it was what?
Has it been a long day?
It has been a long day, but we're gonna get back here ready to go. Buddy Pyrne, while you walked off, we didn't hold it too well. It must be your fault. It must be. All right.
I heard Elrod's pitching.
Coming to the bat now, Richie Robinson. First pitch, strike 1. First time Richie Robinson struck out. He's playing third base this game. In the last game, he was the pitcher. He's a good pitcher. Neal Presley comes in low for a ball. Now it's 1-1. We're in the third inning. Bobcats trail 5-1 after winning an exciting first game 7-6. Neal Presley's ready. He winds. Pitch inside.
Everybody's wondering
Football.
when these ball games are going to play. First one, the game is going to be played Monday night at 7 o'clock. Second game will be played, this game here will be played Tuesday night at 5:30. And if there's a third game, we'll tell you about that later.
All right, that's right. Third game, when we tell you when it'll be played, but it'll be played tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock if there is a third ball game. As we've been talking about all afternoon, in these championship games, you have the best 2 out of 3. Bobcats won the first one, and if Pleasant Grove wins this one, it'll be another game tomorrow at 1 o'clock here at Pleasant Grove.
We know a lot of people in our range are going to want to tape these games, especially when we play them back. One thing you need to remember, these games are over 2 hours. The tapes have got to be changed. You got to put them on extended play. I'm sure everybody will be calling wanting copies, but just to cut down on some of the dubbing, you can definitely tape them off the air, and it's going to be over 2 hours.
All right, Neil Presley winds. He pitched, throw right by Richie Robinson for a strike. That makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no out here in the top of the third inning. Next pitch, ball into the dirt. Another walk. Second walk this inning.
I got one question, Randy. Where did you go to school to learn how to keep the playbook?
I don't know. You don't like the way I keep the
I
playbook?
have no idea what all this means.
Well, you know, look,
A real book.
he had a double.
A real
He had a
book,
single.
BB means base on balls. On
What's a W?
A W means a walk, I suppose.
That's right. That's what a W stands for, a walk. And Coach Johnny Grimes calls timeout. He goes out to the mound, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change. And it's Kendall Taylor coming in for the Bobcats. And let's see what other moves it will have. Mike, this game here could get us in. Let's see what, try to figure about pitching. I wish I knew all the rules on pitching and who all could pitch tomorrow.
Well, I was asking some questions up there a while ago, and as I understand it, and I'm sure I'm not an authority on this.
I'll go along with that.
On nothing, actually.
I'll go along with that.
You can pitch 9 innings, and you can appear in but 9 innings without a game's rest.
So in other words, could actually pitch tomorrow?
Yes, he could pitch 2 innings, whatever he had left. He could pitch those innings, and Cox could pitch the rest of his innings, and Presley could pitch the rest of his.
Okay.
Cannot pitch no more than the total of 9 in 2 days.
Okay, we'll check on that if we need to as the night goes along.
Well, you told me to know the stats. You didn't tell me to read the rule book and know all the rules.
Well, if you're going to be the sponsor of this or the head man, you're going to have to know all these things for us. A coach comes out and talks with the umpires, and they see what he's doing. But Kendall Taylor's warming up on the mound for the Bobcats, getting ready to pitch. We're here at Pleasant Grove, and Pleasant Grove, this is getting the best of us this time. It's 5-3 in the
5-1.
I can't. Oh, goodness gracious, boy! I'm about to lose it on it. Everybody, correct me in a hurry. I'm trying to get that scoreboard's got a 5-3-1, but that's the third inning. Third inning, Pleasant Grove up 5-1, and we still do not have any out. We got 2 walks and a home run here in this inning. You hear that roaring?
Yeah, it's airplane, ain't it, Randy?
Mike heard the roaring. He was looking all over these phones if anything was roaring, and coming in here, and even Buddy Pyron with this here, he was hearing the roaring, looking back for it everywhere. But that was a jet plane come flying over us here at Pleasant Grove. And Pleasant Grove fans hollering play ball, and we're finna break back out of here and go at it. Neil Presley goes to center field. D. Jones, the first base. And let's see, Eric
Is that Gohagen in right field?
in left field, and Chris Gohagen in right field now. And Brent Hall at second, Kim Pierce short, Josh Kaiser at third. So now then we're ready to go again. Kendall Taylor fires in for a strike.
Strike one on the batter with 5-1 Pleasant Grove in the top half of the third inning here in Pleasant Grove, Alabama, in the state finals of the Op Pasco 4A.
Brandon Whiten at bat. He's a shortstop. Taylor brings it in. It's a ball high. No out here in the third inning. Bobcats having a little bit of trouble. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Pleasant Grove leading 5-1. I'm finally getting that right now. I'm trying to get everything down. Got my mind off of it a little bit a while ago, but we're getting it back on it now. And there's a long fly ball to left field and going over up under it. And Eric Cox brings it down for a out. So that's the first out of the inning. Fly ball to left field, 1 out. Runners on first base is Robinson, and coming to bat, Dustin Black. Last time he had a fielder's choice. Dustin Black is the catcher for Pleasant Grove. Kendall Taylor on the mound for the Bobcats. He's a junior. First appearance in this ball game.
Randy, he throws a lot of junk. He doesn't have much speed, but he throws a lot of junk as such, curveballs and all-speed pitches.
He's doing a good job so far here as coming in relief. And we're trying to get Buddy. We're trying to figure out all the pitching, who all can pitch tomorrow and all that. Have you got it down, Pat?
I have no way of figuring that except I would come in with Neil tomorrow.
We're not talking about who we would pitch. We're talking about who all can pitch and all. No, we don't do any coaching. You know, we're not.
No, I'm saying that he obviously can pitch tomorrow.
Can Ashley pitch any?
If his arm, I doubt very seriously after going 9 innings he will be able to lift the baseball.
I mean, is he eligible though? We're trying to get eligible.
I don't know. In the State High School Athletic Association games, I don't know if it changes what.
Is that not?
I'd ask Coach Willie. He might.
Well, let me ask you something. Is that not under a principal should know that? So the principal.
I should have the rule book with me, but I left it in off Alabama this morning.
Well, we just want to make sure that.
But I have my comrade here with me that knows all those rules.
Coach Willie knows all the rules.
In the baseball and football and athletics for 45 years.
All right.
45 years.
The rule book.
That makes you 52, right?
10 innings. 10 innings total. How many did Ashley pitch first game? 8. So he's got 2 innings tomorrow.
That proves the point. Robinson will not pitch but 1 inning tomorrow if y'all at 1.
Okay, well, they probably won't be a factor in the ball game. Well, they could be very easily in the ball game tomorrow. All right, and that's a walk to Dustin Black. So now then, that's the 3rd walk here in the 3rd inning.
With a man on first and second, Pleasant Grove in the 3rd inning, 5-1, and 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning.
All right, bringing to the bat now, David Landrum. He's the first baseman, left-hander. He walked the last time, too. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks here for the Bobcats in the 3rd inning, or in this game, they make that. Ground ball to the second baseman. Brent Hall's up with it. He's over to first, and that is the 2nd out of the inning. If you're scoring that, that's 4-3. 2 out, brings up Barry Russell. First inning, or first time at bat, he struck out. He's the left fielder. In the 3rd inning, so far, Pleasant Grove has scored 3 runs on a 3-run homer by the pitcher, Andy Elrod. On the mound for the Bobcats, Kendall Taylor. He fires, ball low for ball 1. Pleasant Grove's got runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 out. Next pitch, hit the ball to shortstop. Cam's up with it. He's over to first base. Easy play. Make it 6-3, 3 outs. But in that inning, Pleasant Grove came up with 3 big runs. I really and truly don't see them getting that inning now, but 1 hit. But anyway, they had 3 big runs off 1 hit. And so after 2.5 innings, going to the bottom of the 3rd, it's 5-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove, and we'll be right back.
As we come to the bottom of the 3rd inning, Andy Elrod, who hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 3rd inning, is on the mound. He is a left-hander. He has a college scholarship at UAB. And initially in the 1st inning, we thought that he was not going to be effective tonight. But the last 4 men he's faced, he struck them out.
Buddy, we might add that was a 3-run homer that last inning.
That one hit that Randy Griffin was talking about. So up for the Bobcats to lead off will be Brent Hall, Chris Gohagan, and Neil Presley. So it's Hall stepping in there for the first batter to start the bottom of the third inning. Bobcats trailing 5-1. Somewhat more of a lackluster type of appearance than the first game. And the first pitch was called strike. Brent Hall back in the box. And the second pitch is a strike. So 0-2 as he has struck out the last 4 men. And now has Brent Hall as he takes a ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. They play Hall not too deep and straight away. Infield is back, and the next pitch is outside.
But this game is slowed down to a different pace than what that other game was.
And that's what happens a lot of times. I was talking to some other people during the break that this game and he strikes him out for out number 5. Excuse me, 5th strikeout in a row. I was talking during the break, this game could take a whole different composure than the other one as far as the intensity. Because of the high emotions, this game could be somewhat flat, and I think we are seeing that, especially on the Bobcat side. So with 1 out, the next batter, Chris Gohagan, steps in against Elrod, and the first pitch to him is called strike 1.
That was a good curveball, buddy. They have got some real good curveball pitching here in Pleasant Grove.
That's true. And it looks as though he does that as just an aftermath. His best pitch, of course, is that fastball. And a swinging curve again. Strike 2 on Chris Gohagan.
Of course, number 18 pitching for Pleasant Grove is a left-handed pitcher. And, of course, the curveball coming from a left-hander is going to look all different than it does from a right-handed pitcher.
And the next pitch, call strike 3. I'll reemphasize that 6 straight strikeouts now.
He chunked that one.
The second out here in the bottom of the third. The next batter is Neil Presley. Presley, about 6'3", weighs about 210. First pitch to him is called strike. If he was off, he certainly is on now. Swinging, hard hit ball out into left field. Bobbled somewhat by the left fielder, but Neil Presley breaks the strikeout streak with a base hit to left field.
Of course, the pitcher, buddy, number 18, Andy Elrod, is signed with UAB, and of course, I suppose a pitching scholarship with UAB here in Birmingham. And got coming to bat now, number 5, Judd Chanel, the catcher. We got Presley on first base, and with 2 outs in the inning, and the action has slowed down. Judd Chanel batting for the Bobcats. And the pitcher winds up. And everybody up here is hollering balk. But Presley stays on first base.
Something interesting on the sideline here. Coach Vernon McBride talking somewhat to the first base umpire. And the umpire then turned around and pointed to him and said, "Stay in that box and be quiet." But I'm not sure he will do that. Presley takes the lead, throws back to first, and he hurries back. Not much of a move that time. Really was just a throw over to keep him honest, let's say. 0-1 is the count. No balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. And strike 2 to Judd Chanel.
He's got as good a fastball as we've seen tonight.
I told you he was throwing about 89 miles per hour earlier, and that has a lot of zip on it.
Did you have the gun on that pitch?
Not on that one. I left it off. All right, Presley takes his lead off first, about 4 steps, as he looks straight into the eyes of Elrod. Now Elrod delivers as a swinging strike, and they throw to first base. The catcher did drop it, but they get him in time for the third out to retire the side. And so 3 complete innings of play now as the Spartans are leading the Bobcats by the score of 5-1. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back live, and I know one of the tiredest guys that's got to be in this ballpark has to be Judd Chenille. Judd has caught 12 innings so far, and he's gotten up a lot and gotten down a lot. I know my legs is tired, my back is hurting. I was sitting here thinking about if I was catching, what would I be doing?
You'd be in bed probably. But
all these comments I'm getting, I want y'all to know that I am not as old and as bad a shape as y'all think I am.
But I'm standing here with
Andy Griffin.
I'm standing here with a young man from Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and I don't believe I even introduced myself. We've been standing here talking a pretty good while. What was your name?
David.
David, have you ever seen a game like that first game?
No, I haven't. That was a real barn burner, both sides.
Well, it's a shame somebody had to lose, but of course we were glad it was off. But Pleasant Grove really jumped on up this second half, the second game, and they really got up 4 runs here quick.
Pleasant Grove's got a good team this year, and they're real strong. The new op was going to be a strong team also. Didn't let them get them down. Didn't let too much pressure get to them, but they're ready to play ball, and it looks like the second game they're coming back pretty strong.
Everybody here at Pleasant Grove has really been nice to us, and we want to thank y'all for all the courage y'all shown us and all the phone calls we made. Everybody has just been super nice.
Well, we're glad to have y'all up here, and anything we can do to help you get home safely, we'll be with you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, David.
Scott Shivers, first man up for the Spartans. He attempted a bunt and fouled it back. Kendall Taylor's on the mound for the Bobcats here in the top of the 4th. Shivers looking at 0-1 as Taylor delivers. It's a high ball. 1-1 is now the count.
But we just talking about sending the tape to.
Swung on, strike 2. A good fastball by Kendall Taylor that time.
Just talking about sending the tape to Pleasant Grove High School, the principal. I told him it'd probably be a little biased, though, compared to anything they've seen at Pleasant Grove, but then they didn't have Randy Griffin, did they?
Probably not, but most schools do have someone of that order. And a little chip shot coming over to Brent Hall. He surrounds and catches it at second base. The second baseman, rather, and almost behind first base. But Brent did a good job for out number 1. The next batter will be number 4, Brian Atchison. And he will get his first look at Kendall Taylor. Kendall looks and delivers. Good fastball, strike. Looked like it had a lot of zip on that one.
That was the best pitch he's thrown tonight.
As I pointed out earlier, Kendall is known better for his breaking balls than his fastball, but he looked like he had good zip, and that time his breaking ball did not work, and it was high up over the head of Brian Atchison. So we're looking at 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The delivery is high. Our outfield is playing somewhat deep in center, and right field is more or less shallow. As Gohagen now moves 2 or 3 steps to the right side. Neil Presley giving some signals there as Kendall delivers. Is over to the right side, cannot be caught. Gohagen comes up with it, throws it back into Brent Hall. Actually, if he'd moved over 3 or 4 more steps, he might have made a play on it because it fell right in front of him before he could circle under and get it. He kept it from going to the fence and held him to a single. So Atchison comes up with a single to right center, and that brings up the next batter, Shane Carnes, the right fielder himself. He bats left-handed, so we make the shift somewhat in the outfield. The infield plays it straight away. The ball is hit swiftly and hard down the right foul line behind first base, just as foul.
Some of the people that might be just joining us now here, buddy. Of course, the first game we won. Our Bobcats won the first game. Went into extra innings, and we're playing into the second game. It's 5-1 Pleasant Grove, and of course, if our Bobcats pull this game out, we'll go home with the state championship. And Pleasant Grove wins this game. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
And I wonder how many people are at home listening to this game and wishing that they were here the first game. Bobcats came ready to play, as well as did the Spartans, and Bobcats held on for the first one to win it 7-6, as you had mentioned, and we had mentioned numerous times before. But now we're looking at 0-1 count with 1 out. Carnes, the batter. Taylor delivers. The curveball was high. Kendall seems to be having some problems with his control on the curveball, his off-speed pitch. Does a better job with a fastball, or has been here in the early goings. Throw back and a good save by D. Jones. The ball certainly was thrown high. As Carnes steps in, Atchison takes his lead. Taylor, a right-handed pitcher, looks back, now throws, and a swinging strike. Chanel fakes the throw. Atchison makes a diving slide back to first base.
I believe he's done seen his arm tonight, hasn't he?
I think they all have seen his arm, and I'm going to say this, too, that Black has a better arm than I was led to believe. He's done a good job tonight catching, as well as Judge Chanel. Both catchers have done a very ample job for both teams. Again, the curveball is high, and we're looking at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Time for that fastball again. As Kendall Taylor looks over to first, takes his sign, and delivers, swinging high, fly ball to center field as he is under it and catches it for out number 2. Neil Presley made about 3 steps to his left, but it was a high climbing fly ball, and Neil was not shaded by the sun that time.
That was a high fly ball to center field, and of course it's a little cool in Pleasant Grove, Alabama tonight. We got on long pants and our jackets, and proud of them tonight here.
Temperatures could drop down into the higher 40s tonight, as Elrod, the pitcher, and the last time up hit a 3-run homer. Guess what they do this time? They're going to treat him like Neil Presley. They're going to put him on, but that's going to bring up Robinson, who is also a very good hitter.
If you wonder where Randy is feeding his face. He's feeding his face, and he's got his jacket out, and he's, I suppose, resting. We're swapping out here and keeping everything going.
Okay, we're going to substitute the runner here, and Armstrong comes in to run for Elrod at first base. Atchison is on second as Kendall Taylor steps to the mound. And he looks back now to second, delivers, and the first pitch is ball inside. The ball seems to not carry as good tonight as it did this afternoon. However, Elrod pounded one earlier. This one is hit hard into center field. Neil Presley clapping his leg with a glove, and when he does that, he knows I've got it. He circles in about 375 feet away and catches it for out number 3 to retire the side. So after 3.5, it's the Spartans 5, the Bobcats 1, and we're coming to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, we're back live in Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and we come back live and everybody just grabs a mic. Randy,
all right.
Did you get your belly full?
I got full. Now I got me a hamburger. Coach Woolley brought me a hamburger over here, and so was good. All right, who we got batting for the Bobcats down this inning? Let's see. The first player looks like Eric Cox at the bat. Eric Cox, first time struck out. And we got to get something going now, Bobcat fans. I know you're sitting back on old couches over there eating a hamburger, but I just got me a hamburger now. I feel a lot better. You've been here. I've been on the road since 7:30 this morning, and here it is now 5 or 10 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we got to get something going for the Bobcats. And on the mound for Pleasant Grove, Elrod. And that's a ball. 3 balls, no strikes. Here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, Bobcats winning the first ball game 7-6, and we're behind 5-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. We got to get something going. Elrod fires, and there's strike 1.
I'll tell you what, this Elrod kid is as good as pitcher as their first string they pitched here in the first game. He is throwing some hard stuff now.
Tell you one thing now, I know both of them are real good pitchers, but this time Elrod's having a little better. Good, great, what a lick by Cox is over the left fielder's head, in for a double. That time Eric Cox, ground rule double, bounced over the left field fence. And he swung that ball at bat that time. I tell you what, now you talk about lacing one, he laced that one, and once he hit it, you knew that ball was well hit. And it bounced over the left field fence, so Eric Cox on with the double, and we've got something going here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Bobcats trail 5-1. Josh Kaiser now will come to the bat, third baseman for the Bobcats. He struck out the first time, and that was the ending that we got started there with good, great. When I went and got my hamburger, Elrod struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men in a row.
Tell you what, Randy, he sure did. And you know, that was 370 when that ball hit out there, and Eric Cox was almost standing on second base when that ball hit the ground.
It gets by the
third base
catcher, and going down to third base, Eric Cox. And as I'm looking here now, went to get my hamburger, like I said, have been gone. He struck out 8 out of the last 9. Now may get 8 out of the last 10 he struck out, and he's throwing that ball mighty hard. Andy Elrod from Pleasant Grove. But the Bobcats now have a runner on third base. 1 ball, no strikes to Josh Kaiser. Ball high, 2 balls, no strikes. Maybe we'll get back like he was in the first inning when he was real wild. But then all of a sudden after that, he came back strong. Andy Elrod on the mound for Pleasant Grove. Fires in there, Josh Kaiser. Swings and misses. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Andy Elrod's ready. He winds. The pitch outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. We're in the 4th inning, as we said, and the state finals in 4A baseball. The Bobcats, Pleasant Grove Spartans. Bobcats trail 5-1, but we have a runner on third base. And the next pitch in there for strike 2 at the knees on the outside corner. Josh Kaiser, the batter for the Bobcats. We've had a great time all day long, sports fans, or Bobcat fans, whatever. Here's a pitch. Hit back toward the shortstop. Shortstop's up with it. He's over to first, and he's out. Score that in 6-3. Josh Kaiser goes down with the first out here in the 4th inning.
Of course, Eric Cox is on third base with 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 5-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove. And coming to the bat is
Kendall Taylor.
Kendall Taylor. I'm having a hard time seeing the numbers tonight, Randy.
Well, that's not
a long day.
For
It's been a long day.
You
know, riding with you all day has been a rough job in itself.
That's a 10-4. All right, Kendall Taylor, his first time at the bat tonight. Got a runner on third, trying to get him in. He tried to bunt it down the first base line, tried to get the runner in, and Eric Cox was on his way home, but he'll go back. So Kendall Taylor now will have to
trying to do a squeeze play there, one, and get Cox in from third base.
I couldn't tell whether it was on squeeze or not. Kendall Taylor was going down and talk to Coach Grind. I don't know if Coach Grind, Kendall thought the squeeze was on, the button was on or not, but I don't know if Coach Grind said, well, we better knock him in and get a big inning. I don't know. So, that's just guessing one way or the other. Or maybe the other. All right, Mike.
Well, most of the time it is the other.
That's right. Most of the time it's the other. All right, here's a pitch by Elrod. It's right in there for a strike. So all of a sudden now then, Kendall Taylor's in the hole. No ball and 2 strikes. Elrod's ready. He fires. It's an outside ball. He had heat on that and had some smoke. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 4th inning. Bobcats trail Pleasant Grove 5-1. And a pitch. And it's a hit to shortstop. That'll get a run in. Shortstop's up with it. He's in the dirt. But he picks it up and gets him out. So that's another 6-3. Good play by the first baseman as the ball was low into the dirt. But coming in to score for the Bobcats, Eric Cox. And so that was a 6-3. And that'll bring up D. Jones for the Bobcats. Bobcats with 1 run here in this inning. That time Pleasant Grove was playing back, giving up the run, but it was a slow grounder to shortstop, and I believe if it had been played in, they still would not have had to play at the plate. D. Jones so far tonight struck out the first time. Bobcats trying to get something going here in the 4th inning. Now they trail 5-2. Bobcats scored 3 runs while ago in 1 inning. We can do it again. First pitch, low in the dirt for a ball.
I believe the hot Bobcat bench is trying to get in this ball game, Randy.
They sure are.
A little life coming back in the fans and everybody here.
There's some life in them, and they're about ready to go. Next pitch, low outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Tell you one thing, Mike Russell, I don't know about ball players, but I definitely tired myself, I believe. But, you know, they're mighty young. I'd be able to go to bed tonight and get me a good night's sleep, I think.
Yeah, I will, too.
Next pitch, outside corner for a strike.
It's going to be rough sleeping in the car all night, Randy.
I'm not going to sleep in no car tonight, Mike Russell. We'll give me a motel room somewhere, I tell you that.
Hey, I got $10. If you got 10, can we get a room up here for 20?
Next pitch, swing and miss for a strike. I don't know if I can get one for 20 or not, but I'm going to borrow some money from my wife. If I don't, she better go down to the bank. If she made it here yet, she's supposed to be here. She's not still in Talladega. They're riding around that track somewhere. 5-2. Tell it like it is. Next ball, swing and foul back. Oh, Hayward Hardy sitting back behind me and said all the school teachers are broke, and I'll go along with him 100%, son. Us school teachers in bad shape. But one thing about it, school will be out in about another week. We're going to get a little vacation. Ain't got any money to spend, but we're going to have a little vacation for a little while. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Watch it. The ball's coming over here towards the dugout, and the Bobcats, you talk about scattering. It was hit hard in there. I think it hit Judge Chenell. And Judge already been hit about 50 times behind the plate. He's holding his right leg, and Emil got him up against the leg. Oh, Jim Wiggs over there laughing about it. He just sitting by the dugout laughing. But the Bobcats come storming out of the dugout, and I believe Judge Chenell got one on the leg. If it has no chest protector and all on, he might not have got hit.
Well, D. Jones batting for the Bobcats.
The umpire calls it strike 3, so that's the 3rd out. But the Bobcats came up with 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and at the end of 4 innings, it's Pleasant Grove 5, the Bobcats 2. We'll be right back. Back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Bobcats trail 5-2, and we're going into the
You're not going to tell none of that
5th
advice you heard in the
inning.
break, are you?
No, we'll not tell any of that advice. We heard the break. Don't even remember what it was there, Mike Russell. But anyway, Bobcats back on defense now, and Pleasant Grove will be batting. The first batter will be Brendan Whiten. Brendan Whiten, the shortstop. He's 1 for 2 tonight. And Bobcats trail by 3, and we need to get in here and get them out and come in and get some runs. Elrod has been tough tonight on us. All right, Kendall Taylor's ready. He fired the first pitch. Ball a little bit high. 1 ball, no strike. Kendall Taylor on the mound, and Judge Chenell behind the plate. Next pitch by Kendall Taylor. Little bit high again. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 5th inning. Bobcats trail 5-2. And as you know by now, the Bobcats won the first ball game 7-6.
Randy, we need to hold them here. We got 3 more shots in scoring 3 runs to tie this game up so we can go in extra innings.
I like him extra innings so far.
So far, so good.
That pitch was in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Taylor's ready and the pitch. Look good to me, but the umpire says she's inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Kendall Taylor on the mound. Let's see our offense on the infield now. D. Jones first base. Brent Hall second. Kim Pierce short. And over at third, Josh Kaiser. Kendall's ready. The next pitch is a long fly ball to left field. And up under it. It's in there and good by Eric Cox. Just a routine fly ball.
Have you noticed how many, since Kendall Taylor has been in pitching, how many high fly balls we've had?
Had a bunch of them, hadn't we?
Had about six high fly balls. And that's great. You know, routine outs and such. They're not getting the whole thing, but they're getting enough on it to have a high fly ball.
Making them easy outs. And as you said tonight, the field's well lighted. We have not been able to. Sun doesn't get in their eyes anymore, thank goodness tonight. All right, Kendall Taylor winds, fires for a strike. Batter just went way over that one. 1 strike.
Kendall is a junior. He will be probably one of the pitchers counted on next year as far as being a starter.
Curveball in there for a strike 2.
He's getting some valuable experience here in the state championship for sure.
That's definitely right. And we'll have to find us some pitchers next year, won't we? But that's next year, isn't it?
That's next year. Right now we got the state championship on line.
Kendall Taylor fires another one. Hit out between shortstop, third base. Great play by Kim Pierce. He's up with it, but no play. Major league play there by Kim Pierce. Stopping the ball, but he could not get him at first. He dove in there. As you saw it on TV, I'm sure. That was a great play.
Went all the way behind second base to make the stop. Was unable to get up in time to throw him out. It was a good stop.
All right, that brings up David Landrum, first baseman. So far tonight, he's walked and grounded out second to first base. All right, Kendall's ready. He fires home. It's a ball high. On first base, Dustin Black for Pleasant Grove. 1 out. 1 runner on base here in the 5th inning. Next ball inside. Judge Chanel comes to first. He can whip it. He's done that a million times today. He'll flip her over there. He's not too tired to throw to first, is he?
Had a good throw also, Randy.
He sure did. Right at the belt.
2-0 count on the batter with 1 out.
Bobcats trail 5-2 here in the top half of the 5th inning.
First time up, Landrum walked. Last time he grounded out to the second baseman.
Has a foul ball back over the Pleasant Grove dugout. That makes it 2 balls, 1 strike. Kendall Taylor gets on the mound. He's ready, and Judge Chanel's giving a signal. First pitch. Ball high. Chanel back to first again. This time was not close. 3 balls, 1 strike. 5th inning. 1 out. 1 runner on. Kendall Taylor on the mound.
We need a double play ball here.
David Landrum, batter. Bobcats in a hole a little bit here. Next pitch, fly ball out between left field and center fielder, and Chris Gohagen comes up with it and throws to first base.
Good throw.
Easy out.
Very accurate throw back to first.
It was makes 2 outs as Chris Gohagen catches the ball, throws it in, and makes it 2 out. All right, that time, buddy, when that ball was hit, I thought that ball might be in the gap in there. That was a line drive, and I kind of got worried about it, but Chris Gohagen made it look just routine.
I think you're right. It was more or less slicing back toward Chris Gohagen. Throw over to first base. He's back in the dirt. And the one we keep talking about going back is the catcher for the Spartans. I'm sure he's as tired as Judge Chanel. Doesn't have quite the weight Judd does. Judd's about 220. This guy looks about 170. He's diving back again.
And Judd Chenell faked the first.
Tired.
Yep, Judd Chenell fakes the first. And Barry Russell, the left fielder, the batter now for Pleasant Grove. 1 ball and no strikes.
First time up, he struck out.
Pitched right in the middle for a strike.
And then grounded out to the first baseman. So we got 1-1 count.
Kendall Taylor on the mound for the Bobcats. Doing a good job since coming in here. So far, he shut Pleasant Grove out. Pitching in the bottom of the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th here. Doing a real good job. Do you remember when did he come in? Did he come in on the 3rd inning? Bottom of the 3rd? I believe he did. And there's a high fly ball again right to the shortstop. Kim Pierce is up under it. He's calling for it. And he makes the play. So that was a pretty good inning for the Bobcats. Pleasant Grove came up with 1 hit. So after 4.5 innings, going to the bottom of the 5th, it's Pleasant Grove 5, the Bobcats 2, and we'll be right back. Now we're ready to go. We got our tape running and all, and we didn't have a tape running, so now we've got it running. But we may have made a little bit of mistakes there. May have it live on one place, but not on our tape, and all Mike Russell over there laughing. He went to sleep on us, or somebody went to sleep. I might as well blame it on somebody. But we're ready to go now. It's 5-2 in favor of Pleasant Grove. Have we got tape in there, Mike? Okay.
First batter up, Cam Pierce. He looks at ball 1. It's outside. Cam, the leadoff batter, has had a terrific series so far in his last high school appearances, and this in the 4A state championship. Elrod delivers high, ball outside, ball 2, 2-0. As the Bobcats need to get something started here, as things are getting late in the bottom of the 5th. And the delivery, it is a strike. Hard charging fastball down the middle for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. They play Cam straight away, and the center fielder somewhat shaded to the left. Swung on, foul back. He had a cut at that one.
Good cut there by Cam Pierce.
Unable to come up with it and fouled it back.
And Buddy Pryor, and I do want to say again now, Charles Fulmer, we did not have any place to put our camera, and he backed his new truck right up here by the fence. We got Coach Woolley over there and Coach Edgar there guarding the truck with their lives to try to keep the ball from hitting it, but we got the camera up now up high where we can see what's going on. We really appreciate Charles Fulmer letting us use his truck.
And Cam steps in with a 2-2 count. Andy Elrod, he delivers, is swinging strike 3 as Cam has struck out the last 2 times at bat.
I tell you what, buddy, that time he had some smoke on it again. He threw it in there hard and fast. He still got it going.
6 strikeouts for Andy Elrod as he will be facing Brent Hall now, as Hall looks down to Coach Grimes, the third base coach, before stepping in. I miscounted, I guess. 1, 2,
9
3, 4,
strikeouts.
5, 6, 7, 8. Pardon me, I missed a whole row. 9 strikeouts.
He had 7 in a row. He had 7 strikeouts in a row from the first inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, and 8 out of 9 strikeouts. And there's
Ball's hit to the right side and is caught by the right fielder. A sharp hit by Brent Hall. Brent got good bat on the ball, but Carnes was there to circle up and to bring it home for the Spartans for out number 2. 5-2. Chris Cohagen, who led off the last time with a double, comes to bat now as he steps in against Elrod. And they play him straight away. Swinging, strike 1. It was a low ball. He went down swinging on it.
We're at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Second game of the state playoff. Bobcats trailing 5-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
The first time ever for Opp High School. Swinging down to the third base side. It's picked up by the third baseman over to first base, and he got him. Good play by the third baseman. who is Richie Robinson, and he has a gun. We know that. A good right-hander and the pitcher as well. He came up, fielded it barehanded, and threw it to first base right in time to retire the side for the third out. And now the Spartans come to bat in the top of the sixth, and time is shortening here in this second game.
And we'll be right back. Up Bobcats, Pleasant Grove Spartans. Top half of the sixth inning, Bobcats trail 5-2.
Randy Kendall Taylor has come into the ball game and has done a good job for the Bobcats. The young junior has held them to where he got them. I believe he came in after the home run and a walk after that. And the score is 5-2, and now he's back on the mound here in the top of the sixth. So they have 2 times at bat, and we have 2 times at bat, and we need 3 runs. We need to hold them here. Stepping in for the Spartans in the first, over to Josh Kaiser. Kaiser to first base for out number 1. That was Shivers, the leadoff batter. Hit it sharply down to third base. Josh Kaiser came up and threw it sharply over to first base for the first out.
Getting better on that name, aren't you?
Shivers.
Yes.
I got to thinking about I'm cold, and so I can shiver.
I hear you.
And so I've got it down pat. Or down cold.
Down cold.
The next batter stepping in, Brian Atchison. Taylor delivers low, ball 1.
Another airplane going over. Hey, we got an airstrip right around here somewhere?
Yes, the Birmingham Airport is north of here, approximately to about 25 miles.
Oh. Hey, that's our ride home, Randy.
Good. Why didn't we get to fly in here, buddy? Why didn't we fly the team in?
No one asked.
Oh, no one. Oh, if we'd have asked, you think you'd have flown the team in here?
From Sanford Airport to here, been no problem.
No problem.
I probably could have got the guard to do that for us.
Oh, I wish I had thought about that.
Next pitch, ball inside. 2 balls with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Kendall Taylor needs to close them down.
You know,
Atchison, the second baseman, is at bat. The next pitch is wide, and of course he goes down now with a walk.
You know what, buddy? We're sitting here and trying to get something excited and all, but you tell even through the fans and the stand, that is. You know, the first game, everybody just hollered and they was shouting as loud as they could for about 3 or 4 hours. It took a lot of our energy, hadn't it? We're drained.
Well, in reference to that, yes, Randy, I walked down to the stands and I said, let's get it up. About 2 innings ago when we were behind 5-1, right prior to Chris Cohagen getting that ground rule double and then finally scoring to make it 5-2. And they said they were hollering, but I can't hear them as such. Next bat is Shane Carnes. Carnes takes strike 1. Atchison on first base as he draws base on balls. A left-handed batter. Carnes steps in as Atchison takes his lead. Kendall Taylor looks over, now throws, delivers home, and it's ball outside.
Sweeping curveball that came in a little bit above the shoulder and dropping into Judge Mitt, but it was a little bit high.
They respect Carnes' power. They play him somewhat deep, even though center field is quite deep. Left fielder is moved over to the right side a little bit. He has somewhat of a closed stance, but now backs out. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Brent Hall, as the backs out, just kind of kneels down, so you can tell the time on the field is bearing on all players, even the second baseman as well as the catcher and the pitchers. Throw over to first, not in time. He got back without sliding.
And you know, buddy, really and truly, the team got here about 2 o'clock, and they came straight to the field and started taking batting practice and started taking infield and all. And these kids have really been on the field since 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock, which is 7 straight hours. That's a pretty good time.
Next pitch delivered, throw back over to D. Jones. He got back safely, however. Actually, Randy, they got here before 2 o'clock, somewhere around 1:30, and here it is 9:30, so That's about 8 hours.
8
on
hours.
the field. And not 8 hours just standing around either. 8 hours moving around. Well, the emotion that we had in the first game drains you, even though just being in the game. Throw inside. Now we're looking at 3-1 with 1 out. Shane Carnes steps back in looking for the pitch he wants as Kendall Taylor now looks to Judge Chanel over the first, back to Chanel. As he makes his delivery, it's high, and he walks him.
2 walks in a row.
2 walks in a row as Kendall's having a little problem with his control here in the top of the 6th with 1 out. We need to do something positive, and that is to turn a double play.
That sounds very good to me. All right, we'll turn a double play and get this in and over with, and then get in and get our 4 runs, and then, we'll be in good shape again.
Andy Elrod is one that he does not want to make a mistake on, however. That mistake could be disastrous for the Bobcats if we have one here.
He's already knocked 1 out.
Atchison off second, Carnes off first. Taylor looks to second, now back home, and he throws it high. Ball 1. 5-2 is the score. As the Birmingham News made reference to this ball game, this series, that the Pleasant Grove Spartans would sweep.
All right.
Great play, and he's out. Double play by D. Jones. What a catch. I thought that was over his head, but he caught it just as an aftermath of reaction, I guess. Quickly being left-handed helped out, but he raced back.
There, had worked it on that camera there and picked up a whole slow motion and everything. You might be able to get, I don't know if he'll do that Tuesday night or not, but I tell you what, we got good camera work, great announcers, and good ball player from Mob. So everything's going smooth, Buddy Pine.
Neil Presley steps in. He takes the first pitch for a ball 1. Andy Elrod on the mound against Neil Presley. Presley gets to hit this time. Swung on. It's hit sharply down to the third baseman. Over to first, and it's high. Safe. Richie Robinson did a great job fielding the ball, and he did not plant his foot as such and threw it high. It may be because he pitched for 8 innings the last time that went high.
He did make a great play with a hard hit ball down by Neil Presley. A shot. Third baseman, like you said, came up with it and looked like he was a little relaxed, and he got that ball way high.
Neil did a good job pulling it down that line. He's shown some speed on the bases tonight.
Show some hustle on that one, too. Good hustle.
Chanel steps in against Andy Elrod as Bobcats trailing 5-2, need something to get started here. He looks now. He takes the ball outside for ball 1 as Elrod looked over to first as though I thought he was going to make the move to first, but he goes to home and a ball 1.
Watch his leg on that one, buddy. I sure thought that he made the move to first base that time.
I think that might be what Coach McBride was talking to that umpire about earlier. Bingo! That was a sharp hit ball right across the bag, but it fell foul about 5 feet right in front of us here. That would have been a very timely hit by Judge Chanel if it had been fair.
Missed a double by just 2 or 3 feet. Almost had a double down the right field line.
From there, I grant you, Neil would have been on third, but all to no avail. As we step back in with 1 ball, 1 strike, Judge Chanel at the plate. Elrod looks over to first, once, twice, now swung on. This one bouncing down to the third side. He throws it over to first for out number 1, but he did move the batter up. Elrod looked to second briefly, but saw that Presley was there, then came back to first to get Chanel at first base.
That brings the bat.
1 out.
Eric Cox.
1 out. We got a man on second. Eric Cox is the batter. I'd like to see a long ball here, one of those long ones that he can hit.
I would too.
He likes the fastball, and Elrod is a fastball pitcher. Let's see if he can't connect one. Ball outside.
We're in the 6th inning now at Pleasant Grove. It's Pleasant Grove 5, the Bobcats 2. The Bobcats have a runner on second base.
All right. Presley on second, takes a short lead, been held somewhat by Whiten. Swung on, hit swiftly up the middle.
Base hit.
And here comes Presley around third. He bobbles at center field. However, Eric Cox holds at first. Bobcats up the score, 5-3. I told you he was a fastball hitter. And he hit that one sharply back up the middle, right across second. Shivers came up with it, bobbled it. But Cox held it first. So we have a man on first with one out. And coming to bat is Kaiser, Josh Kaiser. What's he done tonight?
0 for 2.
He's been 0 for this game. He had a big hit in the first game.
He
though.
sure did. I think all of them had a big hit somewhere. And during the action
Cox
day,
is
everybody.
subject to run if he gets a. It's in the dirt, but the catcher Black kept it out in front of him. Ball one. As Cox looks to coach Johnny Grimes and receiving the signals from first base. Grimes has given a lot of signals here tonight and has done a great job of coaching here in the state championship game. Swung but late. Strike one.
That time he had Josh completely fooled, but I don't think Josh was expecting a fastball, and that he brought a fastball right past him.
And another strike. Call strike this time. All right, we're looking at 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Josh Kaiser, the batter. Swung on, foul ball off to the right side.
One ball, 2 strikes here in the 6th inning.
Okay, Eric Cox looking again over to coach Johnny Grimes with 2 strikes with 1 out. He may challenge the catcher again here. Cox runs the bases pretty good, but looking right at the left-handed pitcher. He's gone, swung on. The ball is thrown sharply to second base. It gets through and it goes. He's going to third base. Shivers fumbles it in center field and he goes up standing up. So he moved the runner, but the strikeout brought about the 2nd out. Now we have 2 outs with Eric Cox on third, and the batter is Kendall Taylor. Kendall not getting a whole lot of batting times in games. Will come to bat at a very precise time, which could help himself here. We've scored 1 run this inning. It's 5-3. Certainly we need to chip that lead again here.
5-3, bottom half of the 6th inning.
Base hit would do it. Get on base some way. Here comes Elrod. He delivers. It is called strike 1. Boy, he came charging on that one.
Fastball right down through there, and he's bringing it back.
86 miles per hour.
1 mile an hour slower a while ago?
3.
3 miles?
He's maybe weakening a little bit.
All right.
Swung on. It's pop fly to the left side. Robinson, nope. Called off by Witten. Witten comes up and gets him out for the 3rd out to retire the side, but not before the Bobcats did pick up a run. And now we start the 7th inning, the final inning of this game, unless something happens for the Bobcats. We need to hold them here and pick up 2 runs.
We'll be right back.